Hi, this is On Imagination with a Healing Garden, and welcome to PANDO. So this is my chamber, this is my private space, and I'm thinking. So I'm thinking about money and finance. I just met with one of the most beautiful minds in the world on finance. I love doing this. So this is what I do. You really want to know what I do? This is what I do. I interview people. That's really what I do. And then I put everything I learn inside of my brain and I mix it up into a soup. And then I get conclusions and I go, I have insight. So then I reflect on what I learned, what I pick up from all over the place. And it's like a cocktail. So every time I find nutritional knowledge and I drop it into my brain, and I'm very, very select about what ingredients go into my knowledge soup. So I have knowledge soup. That's what I have. Knowledge soup. I'm going to write that down because I love that concept. And as I brainstorm idea, I'm just going to put this all together. So knowledge soup. So I'm very, very, very select about what knowledge goes into my brain. Like I have a whole filtering system of, do you qualify? Are these ingredients good enough for me? Because if it does not meet my criteria, it does not go into my brain. So I cherry pick like the best of the best. I am like the restaurant, like the 5-star restaurant of knowledge. So I have studied Donald Trump's finance. I have studied Rich Dad, Poor Dad finance and Warren Buffett. And then I pulled his beautiful brain into my brain and I dropped it into mine. And this is beautiful, is every one of those gentlemen that I just cited gave a perspective of money and capitalism from their point of view. And I also have studied a lot in poverty and how people feel on that level. I have gone the full gamut. I have been all the way up at the top to the Billionaires Club, spoken to the founder, and have heard his opinion on money. So this perspective is new because this one is the full, zoomed me all the way out and showed me all of finance. And then he zoomed me in and we looked at every, and then he zoomed me down. It was so yummy, like it was a buffet of finance knowledge. And it was the summation of all finance knowledge put together. And I went, well, we have no fucking clue. Wow. And one of the things that he said a lot of, which was the most breathtaking thing ever, is we have to change the narrative. And I agree, absolutely. This is about changing the narrative. Now, changing the narrative is done through education, which means you got to have like the top fucking best education. Now, here's where I'm sitting going, all right, so we're in a robot. Okay, people? It's a giant robot, and we're at the controls, and I got little joysticks. And I'm going, all right, where are we going to take this thing? Now, we have the ability to literally take it wherever the fuck we want. That's where we are right now. We are at the point of choice. I love this place where we can choose to take this wherever the fuck we want. But we got to make a decision here. So I'm sitting here with my little hands on the controllers going, well, wait a minute. First of all, do I know how to operate the machine? Oh, fuck yeah, I know how to operate the machine. It's called the subconscious mind. So I know how to operate the machine. So check. Let's do this. All right, engine check. We know how to operate the subconscious mind, which means I can say whatever the fuck I want to you guys, and I know how to steer you. But ethics. This is the code. Ethics. And the other thing is free will. That's a big fucking deal. Free will. Free fucking will. You have to choose. So those are my two top ethics. Ethics and free will. All 12 of them. 12 ethics and free will. Now, my other huge priority is we got to be able to learn, because if you don't know how to learn, if you don't have that open mind to learn, which is the 7th ethic, then, well, now we have a problem. We have a big fucking problem, because if you're not learning, you're going nowhere. So learning is a big deal. Ethics, the 12 ethics, and your free will, my free will. So those are my 3 priorities. So wherever we decide to take this giant fucking awesome robot, is absolutely, we got to move together. It's like what John Hancock said in 1776. Either we all move together, or together we must stay where we are, because a union divided against itself cannot stand. And my job is to integrate. So we got to synchronize our dance. That's what's going on here. You're all on stage with the dancers, and I'm the director. Now I'm sitting here as the director going, all right, we need to dance. But there's a problem. We really need to make sure you all have your own dance. It's all free will. We just got to synchronize. We got to synchronize the watches. That's what we're doing here. So I'm in my robot. I got my joysticks, and we got to change the narrative. So now I'm asking the question, what is the right narrative? Truth. That's easy. Truth. And I got logic. So that's going to be easy. So we got logic that gives us truth with the 12 ethics, free will, and learning. All right. So we're set. We've got the operating manual now of the robot. Okay. And I'm inside the robot, and I got the subconscious mind user manual, so I know how to use the robot. And I got all of my knowledge with sociology. So I got all of this shit. I'm going, all right, I know what to do. Now here's the question. Where do we want to go? So this is where I'm looking at knowledge soup, and I'm asking the question, what is the right answer when it comes to money and finance? And let's go through this. Money is the root of all evil. No, it's not. Because there's plenty of evil where there is no money. There's plenty of evil where there is an absence of money. So we're going to go over to math for a minute. It's called a constant. If something is not a constant, then it's false, okay? If it is 100% true, then it is truth. So a 100% constant is truth. So that's how you tell all truth. If it's a constant, it's called a common denominator. So common denominators are truth. This is why when your brother broke the lamp when you were in like 5 or 10, and your parents got all of you kids around, who broke the lamp? And they interrogated each one of us. And what they were doing was they were looking for common denominators. This is what the law system does to us. When we're naughty and we go to court, and the judge is sitting there going, all right, let's look for the common denominators. That's what they're doing. That's how you find out truth. This is what mathematicians do. This is what logicians do. This is what all scientists do. This is what research is. You're looking for common denominators. To do that, you need data. According to mathematicians, and they're right, you need 3. I say 4. They say 3. I say 4. If you have 1, it's a fluke. If you have 2, oh, look at matches. If you have 3, oh, now we got a pattern. But I like 4 to solidify the pattern. I love 4. 4 really is like pattern plus. Now you know you really have a pattern. But 3 is pattern. But 4, but 3, but 4. So there you go. So you have data. So you can get common denominators. After you have common denominators, you can start figuring out the truth. Which is why narcissists like you to be isolated. Because when you're isolated with a narcissist, you can't compare data. See how that works? So if you have 4 friends, you need 4 people in your life at least, you can compare and you can analyze and you can go, look, this person's lying to me because of truth. That's how you find out truth. So the first order of business is to get yourself around people. So I have knowledge soup. And he gave me this beautiful perspective, and it was very much, I'm going to show you all of the perspectives of finance. And I saw all of the perspectives of finance, and I went, yeah! And I found the common denominators of money. So I'm very, very happy right now because all of finance just went, so here is what's going on. This is money 101. Now, we're not going to go anywhere with our robot. We're going to sit right where we are with our robot. I'm going to take my hands off the joystick, and we're going to talk about money. So you have an asset. You have an asset. You need to know what an asset is, and you have a liability. Okay? You have a bond, which is also a fancy word for debt. And you also have a stock, which is an asset. Now, an asset brings money in. So an asset, and let's change the word money to resource. Because this is all this really is. It's resources. So an asset brings your resource in. That's it. It generates resource. That's it. An asset is a resource generator. A liability is a consumer because it consumes, which means to devour or eat. Eating is the transference of a resource into fuel, which then should be fueling your generator. You see what we're doing here? So that is actually the order of operations, is you need a resource to eat, to transfer into fuel, to produce another resource. It's called transference. Now, in order for this to work, you have got to know what energy is. You have got to know what a resource is, and you have got to know what your mind is. Your mind is a potential resource generator. But if you don't use your mind properly, you've turned it into a consumer. Are we all listening? So your mind is an asset. That is what your mind is. It is an asset. Knowledge is the resource that goes into your mind to transfer it into fuel to generate resource called idea. You have an idea and you have a network, you'll be fine. A network is an asset because your network is going to generate resources for you. So you have a network and you have a mind. This is all you need. Literally, this is all you need. A network and a mind. Raise your hand if you have a mind. Great. Now, once you have the mind, we need to make sure your mind is up and operational so we can get it going where we need to get it going. So we have a whole lot of stuff for that. We're going to walk you through that process. We're going to call it the Radical Global Healing Plan, which is really fancy schmancy talk for we're going to fix this shit. So this is it right here. This is what we're going to do. You have your mind, but you got to make sure that the nutrition that goes into your mind isn't garbage. We are going to call that information. So if it's garbage, it's information. That does not mean it's good. It can be good or bad. So to clarify good from bad, we're going to call the good stuff knowledge. If it's good knowledge, if it's high value, high quality knowledge, we're going to call that knowledge. But if it's not, we're going to call that information. Okay. Now, education is the uploading of knowledge or information into your brain. But we want knowledge. We don't want information. Because if there's no value in it, if it's low quality, if it's wrong, if it's false, well, then it isn't anything. It's just garbage. So the question is, are you putting garbage into your brain or are you putting knowledge into your brain? That's the question. Do you know the difference? Can you tell the difference? You need to be taught how to tell the difference, which is what we're going to be covering here. So you've got your network and you've got your mind. And that's all you need. And I'm going to show you how to make money with just those two things. Now, every time you decide to increase your asset, increase the value of the asset, you're literally going to want to invest, put something into to increase the value of your asset. Your primary asset is your mind because your mind is what generates ideas. But if you are not putting the right kind of information into your mind, you are not generating ideas. If you are not generating or feeding your mind the right nutrition, you are not going to be okay. If you are not giving yourself logical data, it's really not going to be okay. So when you have finance and all this gorgeous stuff and your assets and everything that you need, it is literally working out this massive balance to make sure that this cycle, it's called human circuitry, to make sure the cycle literally flows through properly and smoothly. Now, in circuitry, we're going to step into the world of physics. In circuitry, you're going to have flow, you're going to have resistance, and you're going to have block. And that's it right there. Flow means you've got a complete, free, open fluidity of movement. We want this. It's free movement, okay? And if you have flow, your circuitry is going to be at 100%. If you resist it, that's actually pushing against it, much like salmon and the river. So what's going to end up with that is it's not quite a block that leads to a block, but it leads to a block. So with resistance, it's literally a damming up. It is damming up the flow of circuitry. That is going to give you about a 50% flow movement depending upon, there's a lot of growth there. It depends on the force versus literally it's the forward movement, which is force. Forward movement is force versus the resistance. So you have force and you have resistance. God, this sounds like a Star Trek movie now, or Star Wars movie now. Force and the resistance. So that's what you've got. You've got force going forward movement, and then you've got the resistance, which pushes back. That's all you got. Force and resistance. Now, a lot of people have different words for these words. We're going to talk about those words. The force is often referred to as the feminine or positive. The resistance is referred to as masculine or negative. Don't do that. Those are the wrong words. So we're going to call it force and resistance, because when you call it what it is, it's going to change a lot when you get into the point of comprehension, and then you're going to see things differently, and you're going to be like, whoa, it's different over here. I know. So what we want is we want to make sure we are using words that are both compatible with the abstract and the material. We want to make sure we are using words that are both compatible with the abstract and the material, because the abstract and the material are merging together now. It's awesome. And as the abstract and the material merge, suddenly the words aren't going to make sense. So a lot of the words that we are using that are exclusive to the material plane aren't going to mean anything at all in the abstract. Now, scientists have figured all this out. Scientists know this. Scientists are over here with their physics going, yep, physics is the word work is a physics word. The word work is a physics word. So if you're talking work, physicists are going, yeah, they know that there's the non-scientist version of that word and the actual definition of the word. So that's an example of abstract coming into material, and they're merging. And as we're integrating everything into the world the way it is, it's not going to make much sense. Now, what does this have to do with your money? Everything. Because money runs on a circuit, human circuitry. And if you're not educated in the human circuitry, you're going to be broke. So you really need to be educated in human circuitry in order to understand how money flows. But not just money, all of your resources. You need to use human circuitry to generate your resources. Human circuitry is like everything here. But if you're not bringing in the correct knowledge into your brain to increase your mindset, to increase your asset of what the mind is, you are not going to be able to take advantage of human circuitry, which is why so many of us are broke, is because we don't know that human circuitry is very much part of our resource and our asset circuit. So we're going to cover that. So I'm talking to this person, and we're going over my knowledge soup, and he spanned me out, and he kept talking about changing the narrative, which is absolutely it. Changing the narrative is when we all sit back and we're changing the story. That's what changing the narrative is. And this is what we do in PTSD training. This is what we do in mental health. We're changing the story. And when you realize that the story is the problem and you need to change the narrative, suddenly everything's different. Now, yesterday, I had a growing day. I had a growing day yesterday. I had to completely break the skeleton of my mindset to change it into a new mindset in order to go where I need to go. And I knew this. I know that. So when I emotionally feel that cocktail, I go, oh, I know what I need to do. I need to completely break down everything so I can reconstruct. So I broke everything. Yesterday was a deconstruct day. And when I deconstructed, I went into today and I went, okay, now I have to construct. And I had nothing on my slate. I'm like, where am I going with this? So I followed the intuition. I followed the logic. And I spoke to this gentleman, and he literally, like, oh my God, it was magnificent to be able to see this magnificent, grand, this is finance. And I went, whoa, we really have a lot fucked up. We really have a lot fucked up when it comes to money. So what he showed me was a perspective that took billionaire with ethical purity. And I was tracking him when I was talking to him. I went, yep, okay, 12th ethic. Oh, yeah, yep, okay, 11th ethic. Like, I was going down the whole line, and he marked every one of the ethics off. So he had billionaire, he had ethical purity going on, and he also had abundance. He had all three. He had prosperity, And he had the fucking jackpot of all of life's fruit, all of it. And I was listening to him speak, and he was painting the picture of what he viewed as the world. And I could see instantly, like, my financial comprehension of truth just cleared right up. And then I could see the billionaires over here. I could see the poor people over here. I could see politicians over here. Suddenly I saw everyone's opinion in relativity to this. And I went, oh, I get it now. Oh, now I see everyone in ratio to. See, this is what truth does, is when you define truth, it gives you a metric for relativity. We call this in math relativity. It's in ratio to. So now we have the ability to compare, so we can measure truth. But in order to pull this off, you have to have truth defined. So you have truth defined, and then you use logic as a metric to determine your relativity to the truth. So that's what you're doing, is you are determining your relativity to the truth. And how good you are at this or how bad is going to determine your level of pain, physical and mental. So the better you are at, first, you have to have the truth defined. Then you have to have the logic so you can measure. And then you will be able to define your relativity to the truth. And then you'll be able to adjust it accordingly. It's called triangulation. These are the order of operations for you getting your shit together. So how happy you are, how easy life is all a metric, all symptoms of this formula. How poor you are is a metric to how off your formula is to finance. Your financial truth is off. If you're poor, your financial truth is off. If you have emotional pain, your logical truth is off. If you are confused, if life is hard, then your truth is not defined. So if you define truth, confusion and difficulty go away. If you have logical truth, your emotional pain ends. If you have wealth, you have financial truth. If you have nutritional knowledge, then you can do all of this. That's it. That's it. So what the order of operations, the agenda, needs to be defining the truth, teaching you logic, so you can then have relativity to the truth, so you can triangulate your position, so you can decrease your pain, physical and mental, and get yourself wealth, so that life will become easy, happy, wealthy, and prosperous. That's your incentive, if you want to, because free will. So now I'm sitting here with my robot, and I'm going, all right, where are we going to take this? And I've got the manual, I've got the research, I've got all the data, I've got my knowledge soup, and I'm going, all right, so now how do I start them? And I'm looking at money, and I'm looking at finance. It was the last piece to my puzzle, to my grand puzzle here, because I got mental illness figured out. I got network figured out. I got business figured out. Finance was the last piece. So I got the finance, and I was able to go, aha, I got the answer. So here's the answer. I want you to imagine we are all on a beach together, and we're all looking around, looking for all the shells, but not just any shells. We want the whole perfect, beautiful shells. Now, we're so focused on finding the right, perfect, beautiful shells, which, if you've ever been on the beach, those are the rare ones, we start punching each other in the face, and we start fighting over all the shells. And we are oblivious to the ocean. We don't even know the ocean is there. We don't even know what the ocean is. We're just looking down at the sand, looking for those shells. That is what we call a dysregulated RAS. A RAS is your reticular articulating system. It is the filter in your brain that closes or opens your mind. And this is the narrative. The RAS is in charge of your narrative. Again, I know how to change the subconscious mind. So when we change the subconscious mind, we're going to change your RAS. We're going to clean your RAS. So we're going to get a little rag and we're going to clean your RAS. Now, while we're cleaning out your RAS, we want to recalibrate your scope. Your scope is your perspective scope. Your scope needs to be calibrated to the truth, but we got to figure out what the truth is. Now, I got the truth, and I got all the logic, physics, science, and math to prove the truth, and it's all balanced beautifully with Mother Nature's equilibrium. So we're all set there, and I got the logic to prove all of this, to support it, to nurture it. So we got truth now. We got truth. So we can recalibrate. And we got the user manual of the subconscious mind, so we can clean up the RAS, so we can change the narrative. So now's the question, where do we want to go? Well, I don't know about you, but I want an easy life that's happy, that's wealthy, and prosperous. So if you want to have an easy life that's happy, that's wealthy, and prosperous, come with me. Come with me if you want to live. So here's what we're going to do. I got my robot. And now we're deciding, where's this robot going to go? So in order to get the money, we have to first address all of the other problems, which is not hard because we got physics and truth and logic. So hard is now not a factor. So what we're doing is called the Radical Global Healing Plan, and we're starting it right now. I have been trying to put this together for a very long time, going, well, 2 years. I started actually constructing it in 2022, and it's finished. All the pieces are aligned, and I got my triangulated position, and I'm all set. And I went, all right, now what am I going to do? And it was a massive setback, because here's my problem. I don't like to use the word problem. This is my challenge, and this is the obstacle that I had to learn. So my trial was, how the fuck do I teach 8 billion people? That was my agenda. How do I, one person, teach 8 billion? So this was not an easy question to answer. And I went, well, YouTube. Because I went, that'll work. YouTube reaches the world. I can do one video and then poof, the whole world can look at it. So there you go. There's my solution. And then I thought, a newsletter. A newsletter would be a great idea, because I can write one newsletter and poof, it's all out there. And I also have my courses online. So I have my websites. And now it's just a matter of organizing everybody. And that was it, really, is how the fuck do I organize this? So I then realized that I'm going to have tiers of people tiers. We're going to call them people tiers. And organizing my people tiers was one of the challenges, because I had to make sure that I got the biggest bang for my buck. Now, we all start off in the foundational tier, and that's your first through your fourth perspective. Those are the people in the world. That's where we all start. That's the nursery. That's the nursery. That's where people go to get nourished, to grow into the next tier. The next tier up is called the cultivators. The problem is we have had no cultivators in our culture since literally the 4th century. So we've lost our cultivators. And then we've got visionaries. Now, visionaries, if somebody is in the nursery and they are a visionary, they have to reject themselves from the nursery. They have to escape. And then they have to find a way to get themselves away from the nursery. And then they have to go into the jungle and just make their own way. And it's very hard, because all the people in the nursery pull you back and go, no, you're with us. So visionaries have a really, they make it. They are the ones who have to endure that. And there's a lot of visionaries who are stuck in the nursery going, I am one of you. And they're trying to figure out how to get to us. And I went, all right, so this is all my sociological analysis. This is my sociological analysis. When I'm like, all right, what's the problem with society? Let's take a look at it. Well, first, we're all uneducated, clearly. That's like, all right, so education is the biggest priority, because the mindset can only be as good as the education. And a society can only ever be as good as the mindset. And the mindset can only be as good as a person's mental health. So it goes mental health, which is a fourth generational consequence. And then you have mental mindset, which comes from education. So everything kept pointing back to, Anna, you need to educate the people. All right, so I'm going to educate the people. But I wanted to make sure that whatever I educated you in was going to nourish you, nurture you, empower you, free you, and make you independent with self-authority so you can go do whatever the fuck it is you need to do. So, hence me and my robot. So, organizing this has been my trial for the last 2 years. And I now have a beautiful group of about 30 people. And they are gorgeous minds, absolutely strong, passionate. So this is phase 1. And we are targeting the visionaries and we are targeting the cultivators. That's it. Because the visionaries and the cultivators are the ones who have to be upgraded first, nourished, and given some, this is it right here. And then they're going to set the example. And then they're going to go back to the nursery and nourish the nursery so that people who are in the nursery can calm the fuck down. People who are in the nursery can change the narrative by being shown that there is an easier way. And that's the goal here, is to make this all easy. So our goal is Operation Easy Life. Operation Easy. That's what we're doing. It's literally ease, with smoothness. Now, a lot of people are skeptics and I don't talk to them, so we're just not going to give a shit what they think. Operation Smoothness. The skeptics are going to be the last in line to join us, and that's okay. Skeptics, go to the back of the line. Go to the back of the line, skeptics. There, that took care of that. So we have the back of the line, which is where the skeptics are going to be, because they need to observe, watch, and learn. So if you're a skeptic, go to the back of the line. The visionaries and the optimists are going to be in charge. They're the ones who are going to be at the front of the line because they have to set the example to show, hey, this is how it's done, and this is how it's done easy and ethically and fun. So that's what I need. I need visionaries at the front of the line. I need passionate people at the front of the line. I need cultivators at the front of the line. And I need you aligned to my agenda, which is ethics, free will, and open-mindedness to learn. There. That's it right there. So, yeah, and then I gave you the whole how all of this ties down into our logic and how it's all branching off into all these different pieces. So, this is a lot to organize, and we have like some amazing brains on board where we're just like, we've built this, it's going forward, they've gone through it, they've checked it to gone, yep, this checks out, so we're good. Like I said, skeptics to the back of the line. We've already done the math, the science, the logic, the physics to prove all of this. That's not in question. Back of the line. I want visionaries, passionate people, cultivators to the top, ethical leaders. And what we're going to do is start the class. So I'm going to be giving instruction. I'm going to be giving resource. I'm going to be breaking all of this down, and we're going to go through it step by step. It's going to be literally like day by day. Now, I'm going to take breaks at random. Like there's going to be some days where I'm like, guys, I'm tired. Like I need to take a break. And I don't know when that is. It's just going to be when I feel like it, because that's what I do. So this is a marathon. This is not a sprint. This is not a sprint. This is a marathon. So a marathon requires self-regulation. So the self-regulation we're going to need is 3 stages. Now, self-regulation is the process of these 3 stages. So if you are looking to put this into your home, your business, your office, whatever, that's fine. 3 stages. Here's how it's going to work. The first stage, and these are not first as in it starts here, but whatever. We're going to walk through that. Genie bottle. The genie bottle is your solitary confinement. This is when you need to be alone to think. And this is vital. The second is going to be the kindergarten room. And yes, these are their names, the kindergarten room. The kindergarten room is where you're watching a movie. You got your little nap time thing mat out. You're sitting there with your popcorn. You might have a pizza, and you got your best friends with you. That's your kindergarten room. That is going to call low learning. That is literally passive learning, okay? That's where you do passive learning. Now, you're still learning, but you're in low mode. You're in low energy conservation mode. Energy conservation mode. Now, the other side of this is going to be the discovery center. I love the discovery center. The discovery center is high active learning. Active learning. Now, I'm going to tell you right now, a human being requires all three of these things balanced to their own needs for self-regulation. So it is a skill to learn when you're in the genie bottle and you need to move on to the kindergarten room, and when you're in the kindergarten room and you need to move on to the discovery center. Now, if you're in the work office place, you're going to have days where you need to be in the genie bottle, the kindergarten room, or the discovery center. Ideally, a business should have these accommodations so that if you go into work and you're like, no, I got a genie bottle day, I'm going to do my work, but I need to go also do a lot of my own solitary confinement, and I need to go be in my genie bottle. And then you're going to have days with your kindergarten room where you're going to be like, yeah, I'm at work, but I need to be in the kindergarten room because I am just not up to it. And then you're going to have days where you're going to be in the discovery center. Now, if you're not taking care of yourself in these three departments, your work is going to suffer. Your mental health will suffer. Your home life will suffer. Everything will suffer. These 3 points is self-regulation for nourishment. Bottom line, this is where you ground yourself. This is where you energize yourself. This is where you self-regulate. It's grounding, it's energizing, and it's self-regulation. Now, I'm going to tell you right now, this is physics. This is human circuitry. This is economics. So the whole everything, when we're going to do this, this is really what you need to grasp your head around. The whole of everything is really this. You've got a machine. You have an assembly line. Now, this assembly line is called an engine. Now, you're going to have your self engine. You're going to have your resource engine. You're going to have your community engine. And you are going to have your finance engine. Now, your engine is only going to work properly in your life stream. So you have to make sure you have built your life stream, because that is the only place where your engine is going to work. So you have an engine. Every one of us has these engines, but most of them are not in the life stream. So there's no physics. So you are the person now with a crank and you're hand cranking your engine because you haven't put it inside the life stream. You put it inside the life stream and this thing is going to turn on like crazy. You will not believe. And believe me, skeptics in the back. So you have your engine. So first, we're going to put the self engine into the life stream. This is called Triadic Healing Part 1. Then we're going to take your resource and your community and your finance, and that's Triadic Healing Part 2. So once we get your self engine into your life stream, it'll turn on and the physics will run your machine for you. That is going to be when life gets easy. After that, we're going to teach you how to generate your second engine for your resource, your community, and your finance. Now, your community is core here. Your community is the one that actually runs it. Your resource and your finance are consequences to your community. So you're going to have a self engine, you're going to have a community engine called your network. Now, after that, you're going to have 2 options. You're going to have the option with Triadic Healing Part 3 to go corporate CEO suite level, or you're going to have the option to go philosopher and pilgrim, or you're going to have the option to go romance with relationships. Now, I'm in the process of dealing with that Triadic Healing Part 5, so that's off on the back burner. Right now, we're focusing on Triadic Healing Part 1, and then 2 and 3. Well, 2, which is the resource, the community, the finance. And then the next one is going to be suite, the C-suite level executive, which is Triadic Healing Part 3. Those are where visionaries are going to change the world. And then we have philosophers and pilgrims, which is Part 4. And Part 5 is off on the back burner while that's in the works. That's like behind the curtain while I figure that shit out. So once you have it in the life stream, physics runs it for you. So we're going to teach you how physics runs it for you. We're going to teach you how to manage this thing. We're going to teach you how to get your self engine into your life stream. Now, once it's there, we're going to teach you about the narrative, because we got to choose a narrative. Now, in order to choose the narrative, you've got to have certain education first, so you can make an informed decision. And right now, people cannot make informed decisions. So this is where we're going to start. This is absolutely where we're going to start. So I have a course right now available called the Radical Global Healing Plan. And it's got onboarding all set up. So you can go into the onboarding, you can go where you need to. It will immediately put you into the, all right, this is the agenda, this is how we're going to go. So I'm going to drop videos onto YouTube. And that's going to be my core base. So YouTube officially now is my core base. We're dropping movies on video or on YouTube. From YouTube, we are going to be then transferring everything over into the free online course. And that's going to be where, that's like the hub, okay? That is where you get all the directions. That's your map. So I'm going to hand you the map and say, if you want to participate in this, here's the map. And that's going to be, go take a look at the free course online. Now, the free course online is going to literally be the directory. It's all your resources. And I say this right in the onboarding. What my role is, I am the NPC here. I am the quest giver. I am your NPC. That's right. I used to be an adventurer like you till I... So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and I'm going to give you a quest. The quest is, if you want to participate, go get your butt over to the hub with the free online course for the Radical Global Healing Plan. You're going to be asked to put yourself into whichever grouping you want. It's not a label, and I give a whole explanation as to why and how this is, but you're going to need to figure out what grouping you want to be in. Now, there's no limit. You can be in all the groupings. You can be in one grouping. Choose the grouping according to what you want to learn, because I have 5 groupings. I have educators and cultivators. I have pilgrims and philosophers. I have entrepreneurs and business owners, and I have visionaries. These are the 4 people that I have. If you are a parent, you're going to be under educator. If you are a light worker, you're going to be under educator and business owner. If you are a visionary, you are going to be under business owner and visionary. If you are a pilgrim, if you don't know what the fuck you want to do with your life, you are a pilgrim. If you are here because it feels good and you're trying to figure shit out, you are a pilgrim. If you have your life figured out, but you want to go to take this all the way to the end to figure out where the fuck the point of comprehension is, you are a pilgrim. If you're spiritual and you can feel shit happening with the universe and you're going, what the fuck is going on? You are a pilgrim. That's right. So if you are a light worker, you're also a pilgrim. You really need to. So this is it right here. Everybody in the world fits under these 4 categories. Everyone who wants to learn. If you're not here, if you don't want to be here, if you are not falling into any of this category, well, fuck that shit. Well, you are the unlearning uneducated. That's what that is. The unlearning uneducated. Now, the other group of the unlearning uneducated is what we refer to as the unethical. And that's where the skeptics are in the far back. Now, the skeptics might say, all right, I might be getting closer. They also might be the people, I got to see it first. When I see it, then I'll be, okay, skeptics, you're in the back. So there's your unlearning uneducated and the unethical. Now, we also do this via a DIY. We do this with a hybrid. And we do it with the one-on-one. So the DIY healing is literally what all of this is. It's 100% DIY. Now, if you want a group to participate and commune with, we've got that for our hybrid group. Our one-on-one is when you get me for consultation. That starts at $500,000, and that's available on my website. Everything else is DIY or hybrid. And everything is automated except for the one-on-one part. That's not automated. For the hybrid, I do 2 classes. I do a free class through PANDO only for PANDO members only. Membership is free, and that's on Tuesdays. The other thing I have available is on Saturdays, and that is for my memberships only. Everything else is available on my website free with the free courses and online courses. So my biggest challenge is organizing this. And that's vital, because if I don't organize this properly, it's not going to go smooth. And that's not going to be easy. So we're going to use physics to trickle this down into a gorgeous pyramid effect. So YouTube is going to be my home base. So every day I come on, I do my little weird shit. And then from there, it goes into the go take a look at the online hub. And that free course online. I'm going to have the link drop down below so you can grab that if you want. And then I've got your 4 categories, figure out which person, how you want, because here's what it is the material is going to be the same, but the assignment is going to be tailored for every one of your mindsets. So if you're looking to be an educator, the assignment is going to be for the educator. So you're going to be given the same material, which is the truth. And then from the truth, you're going to have to assess the educator's point of view, the parent's point of view, the light worker's point of view, the pilgrim's point of view. The pilgrim gets to look at all the points of views. Same thing with the philosopher. The business entrepreneur is going to have their point of view, and the visionary will also be taught all the points of views. So if you go into all 4 groups, you're going to see all points of view. So you're going to be looking at the truth to be able to see all perspectives of the truth. This is called brain stretching. We're going to be talking a lot about brain stretching. So that's all I have to say about that. I believe that's everything. That's everything. And I think going slow and pacing myself on this is really vital because this is a marathon. And yeah, then that's it. That's it exactly. So as we get funding coming in, we're going to be upgrading all of our tech and all that jazz and making it look pretty. But for now, it's just what it is. And we're doing the best with what we have, which is one of the challenges. So if you have any questions, if you want to talk to me, I do not allow comments on my podcast because, well, narcissists ruined it for everybody. We had a few asshole trolls, which is the internet, and they ruined it for everybody. So I do not allow comments on my social media, ever. If you want to participate and engage, you're going to have to go to PANDO, where we have the classroom for open Q&A. And we also have those 2 masterclasses available for Q&A. So I am available in those locations only. Subscribers to my newsletter have access to commenting on my material there. The Queen's Chambers is where I get backstage to all of this. There's no other word for it. It's the backstage. It's VIP access backstage. That is what you are going to see when you get into the subscribers. So the learning, the material itself is, like I said, if you're looking at the DIY solo route, everything's free. How much you want access to me is going to go up in price and accessibility because I got 8 billion people to teach. So if you are a visionary, if you have an idea, if you're going, holy fucking shit, I want to connect with you because I got something really awesome and I want to plug it in, contact me. WhatsApp. Absolutely. And we're going to hook you up. The best thing is getting you onto Pando. But that being said, go take a look at the hub. Link is down below. So the agenda is to get you guys to money, wealth, prosperity, happiness. I got my robot, and we need to change the narrative. I know exactly what narrative we need to do, but I need to build up to that and show you and give you the logical strings as to the why. So we're going to be talking about the collective narrative and how to change it, because that's the biggest problem right now is the collective narrative. That's right. I'm looking at you. All right. So let's do this. Thank you so much. And may the kindest of words always find you.